Good morning, everyone. I am on here. You know, I don't come on here often, not on my personal page, unless the Lord has given me something to say in a more broader manner. First of all, I just want to say good morning to each and every one of you. I was just taking my moment of silence for those who have lost their lives to senseless hatred. I'll get to that in a moment. But for what it's worth, I wanted to come very briefly and share something the Lord had given me to share with everyone in general about this time and what He is allowing us to do in this time. And He specifically said that I am allowing people during this time to find the peace in my pace. I'm allowing people to find the peace in my pace. And I didn't know how prophetic that would be even on today, as, you know, we are dealing with the senseless murder of Ahmaud Arbery. And then we wake up today and find out about the senseless death of Sean Reed. And so before you can even get the other name correct, there's yet another Black unarmed man who was murdered in cold blood. And there's Facebook Lives up showing the murder because he was filming, and I will not call them law enforcement officers. I call them race soldiers. They didn't know he was filming. And so it recorded the murder, and it also recorded their response to what they did. So this is the news that we wake up with. And so I thank God for a word that came before I needed the word. And that was that He wants us to find the peace in His pace. In His pace. And so what does PACE stand for? It stands for the plan of God. It stands for the assignment specifically set out for you. It stands for the counsel of God. And it stands for the environment of God. So we often hear people even sing about God's plan, but what is God's plan? Well, we know that His plan is not to see us denigrated. We know it's not His plan to see us abused or dehumanized. So I want you to keep that in mind, that your goal in life is to find God's plan for you. We know that man's plan is not always good. We know that man's plan, that many people devise, unfortunately, wickedness in their heart. But I'm praying today for your peace, and I'm praying that you find God's plan for your life. Finding God's assignment specifically, we know that God's plan is to prosper us and for us to be in good health, that He only wishes the best for humanity that He created. And then He says, I want you to find the peace in your assignment. What is your assignment specifically? Everybody's assignment is not to herald injustice. I know that's a part of my assignment, so I speak on it all the time. But find your assignment. What is your assignment? What does it look like? What is God leading you to do? What is God leading your heart to do? Is your assignment to nurture souls? Is your assignment to be a caregiver? Is your assignment to fund projects? Is your assignment to use your creative talents and skills and abilities. What is your assignment? Find the peace in the pace of your assignment. Find the peace in the counsel that God gives to you. Now, most of us, we have people in our life that provide a level of advice or a level of counsel for us, and we take that counsel. But God has also slowed things down. He's allowed things to be slowed down in this time for you to seek his counsel. What is his counsel concerning you? What is it that God is instructing you to do with this time? For some people, he's instructing them to start a business. For other people, he's instructing them to get their physical body in order. For some people, he's instructing them to get their house in order. For some people, he's instructing them to organize their history. For some people, he's instructing them to draw closer to their family members. For some people, he's instructing them to learn how to use a weapon. You got to hear God's counsel for your life. What is he counseling you to do? We can look around and we can make comparisons about other people's life, or we can, judge ourselves harshly by what somebody else is getting accomplished in this time. But what they're getting accomplished may not be the counsel for you. All right. It's important for you to know what God's counsel is for you in this hour, and then finding the peace in your environment. There was a gentleman, Ahmaud Arbery, who was trying to find peace in his environment. He was not doing anyone harm. He was out doing what he normally did. His family members knew that that was a regular activity. They didn't expect that his life would be cut short by the unthinkable acts of 3 men, because it wasn't just 2, it was 3. By the unthinkable acts of 3 men. So even in him looking for peace in his environment, he was met with violence. What do we make of that? What do we do with that? Well, one thing we do have to understand about this country, and I think T.D. Jakes said it recently on a broadcast that he was doing with Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey was interviewing him, I think it was last Sunday. He said, we cannot continue to have people making decisions about us without us. I'll say it again. We cannot continue to have people making decisions about us without us. What does that mean? Some people would say, well, Shantae, it doesn't seem like it doesn't matter whatever we do, someone is always going to oppose us. I said, well, we live in this world. In this world, you will have opposition. In this world, you will have people who operate in evil and wicked ways. Are you going to be like them? Or are you going to be the opposite? Are you going to counter the energy that's coming at you that you know is wicked and that you know is evil? Because here's the thing, and I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. America eats black pain for dessert. So am I surprised that we have woken up to yet another hashtag? I'm not. I understand the country in which I live. I understand that it's founded on blood sacrifice. I understand that it's founded on black bodies and consuming black bodies in various ways. I understand that this is the National Day of Prayer, and people want to pray, God bless America. But I will not lie and say God bless America, because I know that God cannot bless America when America is washing its hands in the blood of the innocent. I won't do it. I cannot say God bless America when America is watering the ground with the blood of innocent people. And if we had prophets who were standing before the President of the United States, maybe they would be honest with him and tell him the same thing. Maybe a prophet who has some influence with the President of the United States is watching this broadcast. I know quite a few of them that have stood in the Oval Office. Maybe you will take this message to him and help him to understand that God cannot bless when we wash our hands in the blood of the innocent, when the ground is being watered with the blood of the innocent. And that's not just in the womb. That's any person whose life that you're taking under the auspices of citizen's arrest, whose life you're taking under the auspices of operating in a capacity for the state. Yeah. So I just want to encourage you to do as God has said today. Find the peace in his pace. Find the peace in his pace. And as you pray today, and as you seek the Lord today, just understand that God will bless a people in a wicked nation. But don't ask God to bless a wicked nation. He's not going to do that. All right? And we would be delusional if we thought that God was going to bless a wicked nation. Now, he will bless a people that is upholding righteousness within a wicked nation. He will do that. He will extend time because he'll look down and he'll see those who do serve him, those who are for justice, those who are crying out about the injustice. But don't think that God is just going to put a blanket blessing on top of what our country has not repented for, what people are yet justifying. He's not going to do that. And also understand, as the Lord told me, and I'm finishing up, he said, joy is resistance. So someone asked me the other day, they said, with all that's happening, how can I look for the future? How can I want to get up and operate in another day? And I just remember what God told me. He said, joy is resistance. Joy is rebellion. Yes, there are people who enjoy black pain. There are people who enjoy seeing black people mourn. There are people who enjoy seeing black bodies destroyed. But the resistance to that is black joy. The resistance to that is refusing to give people the satisfaction of being able to stop what is eternal. I refuse. I refuse. And so when I see the injustices happening, when I see the blatant murder, when I see that we are still yet calling on a nation to do what is right by its people, when I see that we still have a debt owed to us that has yet to be paid and that is yet increasing. When I see all of that, I am encouraged to keep pressing on in that sacred rebellion called joy. I am. It makes me want to dive deeper into the presence of God. It makes me want to dive deeper into the joy of the Lord. Is everything in this country happening joyful? No. But that is part of the rebellion. Part of the rebellion is, good morning. Part of the rebellion is, you cannot stop my joy. Some people wonder why African Americans have this vibrancy or this strength or this energy that even in times of pain and even in times of trauma and even in times of gross injustice, it seems from afar or from looking outside of the community, it seems as if we have some sort of supernatural strength. I'll tell you what it is. It's joy. Joy is a sacred rebellion. Refusing to allow what the enemy is trying to do and instead pressing into the joy of God, pressing into something that no one can take away from you, is a sacred rebellion. Joy is resistance. Joy is resistance. I'm going to say it one more time. Joy is resistance. And we have an ancient heritage of knowing how to go within ourselves and going into ourselves and pulling out joy. Not only is love a weapon, but joy is a weapon as well. And so as you think on today and as you remember, because I know it's going around social media, as you remember the lives of these men, Ahmaud Arbery and Sean Reed, as you remember the life of these men, I want you to celebrate who they were. Celebrate who we are as a people. Because if there is one thing that the forces of this earth that are negative, the energetic forces of this earth, you can call it wickedness, if it's one thing they cannot stand, it is joy. They can't stand it. And so I choose to celebrate life today. I choose to celebrate what is good about my people today. I choose to celebrate what is good about humanity. And as I've already said, as this is the National Day of Prayer, I am not going to ask God to bless mess. I will ask God to bless a people. I will not ask God to bless a nation who continues to wash its hands in the blood of the innocents. I won't do that. And so if you're looking for me to say, God bless, quote unquote, America, I can't do that. I will say, God bless the righteous. I will say, God bless the souls that are seeking to know you. I will not give a blanket blessing. And here's the interesting thing. I think if more African American people decided we're not going to keep blessing what's not blessing us, I think we'll see something change. and shift in the spirit realm in this country. I think we will. So this is what I came to share this morning. I hope that you all have a great and wonderful day. And as God said to me, he said, I'm using this time for people to find their pace and find their peace in his pace. Find your peace in his pace. Don't worry about the pace of someone else. Find his peace and find your peace in his pace. All right. I'll be back on Periscope tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. For those who want to join me, we'll be having our Thinking Thursday, Theology Thursday session. I pray for each and every one of you that you would have a blessed day, a wonderful day, and a productive day as you find your peace in him. Find your joy in him. Commit to some sacred rebellion today. God bless.